Hi, I'm James Eade of the Eade Foundation. You can call me Jim. The Eade Foundation is dedicated to building communities through chess. We try to support chess literacy, the ability to read and write chess notation, because it opens up the ocean that is available in chess literature. And we also try to support chess excellence, to be as good as you want to be. But the idea of building a community is the primary purpose of the Eade Foundation. Because if you're part of a community, you're never alone. And if you can get down to the internet, you can become part of the chess community. And if you can't get on the internet, the Eade Foundation can send you sets and equipment in order to be able to build your own community wherever you are, whatever language you speak, whatever country you're from. Now, today's show is the Chess Files. The answers are out there. And I have a special guest today, but before I get into that, I want to tell you, you see where I'm advertising my channel, the YouTube channel, the Eade Foundation? This is where you can see all the videos that we do. But if I can get my producer to cooperate, I'm going to change that banner to another one, to my sponsor. And this is the Fort Bragg Dollar Store. And if you buy online, which we all do in the pandemic, we all buy online, I recommend that you go to the dollar store, use the discount code CHESS, and you will be able to buy quality products at inexpensive prices. I'm a loyal customer, and I encourage everyone to do it. And if you do buy something on that using the discount code CHESS, you will also support the Eade Foundation. So this is something that I really encourage you all to do. It's a way of building chess communities by introducing chess to the business communities so that they become comfortable supporting chess, because then they think, hey, they'll buy my products. So it's a win-win. And it's a win-win-win if you think about developing countries that need chess boards and equipment and can't afford it. If you have the resources, why not share them? So today's Chess Files, the answers are out there, is about what is the approach of the United States Chess Federation, the US Chess. How are they handling online ratings and online tournaments? And since I know nothing about this, I have brought on a friend of mine who has a great deal of experience, and her name, oops, my producer is always doing that. Her name is Judith Starzay. Hi, Judith.
Hi guys, how are you? Thanks, Jim, for having me.
Oh, thank you for being on, because this is a complicated subject that I know so little about, and I wanted to bring on an expert.
Thank you.
And I think you're an expert because aren't you on multiple committees for the United States Chess, US Chess?
I am on multiple committees. I don't think that makes me an expert in this particular subject, but yeah, I am.
You know more than I do, so.
Yeah, I lead the U.S. Chess Federation Clubs Committee together with Paul Covington, Sean Monros, Sophia Rode, Abel Talamantes, and others. So I'm really lucky to work with them in that committee. I'm also the vice chair of the Accessibility and Special Circumstances Committee. It was led by Janelle Lossoff, the amazing Janelle Lossoff, and she gave the torch to Stephanie Burke. She's out in the East Coast in the DC area, and we're working together to make chess more accessible. And I'm what makes me an expert in the online rating and online chess is I was honored to be a part of the online play task force that US Chess put together back last year in May. We were a team of 7 or 8 people, and we basically redeveloped the Chapter 10 rules that's currently in effect, or the delegates voted on it, and it's part of the US Chess rules currently for online chess.
Oh, I see. So when you mentioned the delegates and committees and all this stuff, the U.S. chess structure, correct me if I'm wrong about this, you have an office where you have the people that take care of the day-to-day business of the federation, of the organization. And then you have an executive board that provides oversight, financial credibility, and policy-making decisions. And then you have board of delegates. Is that correct? From each state. So every state has a delegate that they can go, and so you have to get delegates' approval to introduce rule changes. That is it.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
USCF is a membership organization, and similar to actually the US election, like every state has certain amount of delegates based on how many was the population, I guess, or the chess
Right.
population.
Right.
And
California doesn't have enough of them, by the way. But go ahead. Go ahead.
That's one of the few states that are, well, California is actually split into two state affiliates, the Northern California and the Southern California. So we have two states for California. And
well, that sounds fair.
Yeah, that sounds fair. And we also have one of the most delegates, if not the largest delegate for US chess. I think we have probably around 7 or 8 delegates, just Northern California itself, whereas other states only have 1 or 2. So I think it seems fair, but I have to tell you, I've never looked deep into the structure. Okay. But basically, the executive board provides directions to US Chess, as I understand, and if those directions, or if any delegates want to make a motion to have a change affected, they can put it on the agenda of the yearly delegates meeting, and delegates can vote, discuss, and vote on it. And this happened after the online task force finished their work. We had the completed new proposed Chapter 10.
Oh, let me stop you there, because I don't understand this. Who appointed this task force? Was it the executive board, the delegates, or
the executive boards?
The executive board. Okay.
Yes.
So the executive board established this task force and said, "You guys figure out how we're going to do this."
Yeah, exactly. Okay. I think that's how it went. It was Mike Hoffbauer and Ryan Velas who participated from the executive board portion. I think probably Mike had it in mind, guys, we are starting the pandemic. It's not going to get better. We don't have any chess rules that governs online chess. We have to make one. We have to act. And I personally, that's my personal opinion, I'm grateful and I salute US Chess for their fast action. I know some say they weren't fast enough. I think if we compare US Chess to other organizations, they were fast enough. They invited me on this task force, I think middle of May. They were upfront. Judith, it's hard work. It's 2-3 times a week, 2-3 hours of meetings. Then you have your own homework, sort of read and suggest updates. And we met for 5 weeks. So we probably put a good 40-50 hours each, if not more. I know Mike took a stab in the very beginning. So we had a really good first draft.
You're right. That sounds very professional.
It's very professional. I mean, anyone knows Mike. He knows, they should know. He runs a tight ship, just like in the army.
Yeah, okay.
Cooking and everything.
As long as you know what the rules are, you can play by them.
Exactly. And I learned so much from him, how he runs a task force efficiently, no wasting time, and very efficiently. And he's really amazing also combining all the feedback into one document and then bringing it back. So it was really, really efficient. So
good. And you and I both appreciate efficiency. And I'm so glad I wasn't invited to that task force, because it sounds like a lot of work. And was it? Or you think it was worth it, though, whatever amount of time and effort?
It was absolutely worth it. I mean, we met, I think, end of June. We had the final version ready. So early July, we actually submitted for a motion, official motion. And the delegates meeting were online this year or past year. And we had a motion there, we discussed it, and thankfully it had to pass by 80% because it's an actual chess rule. So we were holding that, and I think it passed by 87%, if I'm correct. So
that's hard to do, to get 87% of
I know.
That group of people to agree to anything.
I know. I know. It just showed, I think, that the whole chess community were really thirsty of official rules that you,
Yes,
as an organizer, can lean back and say, well,
right.
I didn't make up these rules. US Chess has these. Don't
Yeah,
blame me, right?
right. No, and it's absolutely necessary to
Yeah.
have everybody playing by the same rules.
Yeah.
That's what governs the play of the game of chess.
Yes.
You have certain rules, you can't violate those rules.
Yeah.
And when you make it go from face-to-face competitions to online, there's a whole new set of challenges, I would imagine.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Yeah.
New
And so you have to develop new rules to handle the new situations. It makes perfect sense to me, but I'm going to disagree with every single decision you made.
Well, I mean, disagreement can lead to an eye-opening discussion. So I think I am actually welcoming disagreements, and I love a good discussion. So I
My
would.
goodness. Good for you. Yeah, that's wonderful because, because we're chess players, we tend to be introverted and stubborn. And so we think things should be done our way. And so you will face disagreements. You will face challenges. And to have your attitude, I think is just so refreshing to hear. You welcome it. Of course, you should expect it, but also be welcoming, and not when someone says, I think this, you go, no, this. That's never going to produce the optimal solution. So welcome their input, value it, respect it, but then make a collective decision and say, this is the path forward. We can't just stay in limbo. We have to decide.
Yeah.
And so how about that? Have you done any of these competitions? Have you implemented these ratings and tournaments and used the tournament ratings?
So I'm not just speaking, I'm actually doing it every single week, multiple times, both for regular and adults, and for scholastic chess.
Oh, good for you.
And that's what I'm actually very proud of. Well, having online tournaments for adults, that's sort of one thing, but having online rated tournaments for kids, because they can't go back to online over the board chess, and it's going to be a little bit until we can open that up for kids.
Who knows when, right?
Who knows when? And this provides them a good bar of, okay, where I am at, and the thing is that since no over-the-board tournament, but they have all this time online, they are getting better, right? So
Sure.
online tests, I feel, and online rating is a really good measure of, okay, where they are at, and if they are progressing up and up, that's a legitimate progress, and we shouldn't say, okay, you can be this good, this fast. Well, you can. Just here's the proof. And so I'm very happy we are running online rated tournaments for kids every single weekend. And
wow.
With 20, 30, occasionally 40 players every single weekend. So it's not a lot, but it's a good bunch of kids, and I love every single week. So.
Yeah, and you're probably not the only person in the country doing this.
No, we are not. There's a few other organizations out there running online scholastic chess. I know East Coast have a few. I know up in Seattle, they run the Washington State Federation does a really great job. I
Good
know
for you, Washington.
Texas and Arizona. So
yes, yeah, I know people in both places that I have a lot of respect for. I'm sure they're doing all of the right things. So that's good to hear. So it's really the whole country, and wherever you are, because it is a federation of states in large part. There's obviously the national governing organization, but it's really the local organizers, the state organizers that really are the backbone of the organization. And so throughout the country, people are providing the resources for people to play online.
Yes. Yeah.
So you have national competitions too, though?
Yeah, and national competitions are trickier, obviously, right? Because you have to make sure that the format of the tournament is something, and the quality of the tournament and the organizing of that tournament is something that you can say, okay, this is a national tournament, so it has to live to that. So we have done a few national tournaments. I know others have done state tournaments. Washington was actually, they jumped right on it, and Washington State did their state championship last spring online. So
Wow.
that's really good. I know a few other states have done online state championships, scholastic championship. And so it's a really good experience. I see people have more and more faith in the online ratings and the online tournaments, and they get a more and more experience how to ensure fair play. That's a very important thing. I mean,
I would think that Northern California would have had an online championship, state championship.
Yeah, I don't want to comment on that. I'm not on the Cultures board anymore, and I don't want to comment on that. I'm sorry.
But I thought because I heard that Sam Shanklin, Grandmaster Sam Shanklin, won the online Northern California Championship last year.
Yes, so the you sponsored one, and the yes, you did.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. My producer's reminding me.
Yes. Round robin. That was so much fun. We invited.
That was great.
I remember six players, and so we had
all titled 3 Grandmasters.
3 IMs, and the 3 IMs were Falconer Award recipients.
Yes.
So it was so much fun. But I'm more like Scholastic Championship should be online too.
Yes, I agree.
Propose it, but it's up to Cultures what they do with that. So
I'm sorry, I'm so self-serving that way. I just wanted to get in.
No, and that was a really fun event.
Yeah.
The really cool thing what we did is it's a round robin, and we could actually have long time control tournament rated. I think it was just in time for being able to rate the tournament. I think was early June when US Chess came out with the rating system, with the ability for affiliates, like any affiliates in the state nationwide, they could run online rated tournaments. So it was a really fun event, and we covered it live and everything. So
I know I very much enjoyed being part of that, but I do think that these are the types of things like, when I first started playing online, it was in the old days when the internet was new, and we had all these troubles with lag. You would make your move, but it wouldn't be communicated for, minutes. And, then your time would run out according to the other person. And we had all these kinds of, is lag a problem now, or is that something that was in the bygone old days?
Oh, internet will always be a problem. Lag will always be a problem, and I'm kind of praying my Wi-Fi doesn't fail on me while we interview.
Me too.
And so and unfortunately, that's in the rules. Internet and securing a good internet is up to the players. And I, for one, know even if you have the best internet, even if you pay $300 per month or whatever, how many dollar per month,
it can still get
shut you down. And there's no guarantee. But unfortunately, these are the risks you have to assume as a player when you sign up for an online tournament. The other risk is the mouse slip. There's no guarantee you won't make a mistake. I certainly did.
I've done it. Yeah.
Didn't drag my king all the way, and it didn't cancel. That's things
typical.
Like that. Or you drag down your queen because you want to capture, but you unfortunately drag down
one square less. Yeah.
It happened with everyone. So unfortunately, these are the things that as an organizer, I can't grant takebacks. There's no takeback. You have to assume, and believe me, players will say, oh my God, I really wish. Well, and they learn, and they are thankful for us later to uphold that rule, because they want to face the exact same as in the opposite direction.
Right.
And
it'll even out in the long run. But it's like touch move over the board. You touch a piece, you have to move it. Sorry.
Exactly. Exactly. So that these are the things that you have to evaluate, whether you want to sign up for an online rated tournament or not. But if you do sign up, if you do register, you assume these rules are in effect. So
that's very interesting to me, because I think that everybody, no one has ever lost a chess game when they were feeling well. Everyone has had a cold or something like that when they lose. And so you can blame anything besides yourself for making bad moves. And so you can blame the internet, you can blame the mouse slip, you can blame something. So that all of that is just covered. You've thought of all of those possibilities, you've covered it, and you said, hey, look, you sign up, these are the risks.
Yeah, exactly.
If this happens, sign up again for the next tournament and hope your opponent loses on time. Yeah. And I'm sorry to make a joke of it, but it's a very serious thing.
Exactly. And I'm really thankful for the scholastic, well, not the chess community. I think most of the players know this by now, and they are not giving us a grief. And wherever I go and whatever organization I'm tournament directing, we encounter players all over the nation who accept these rules, and it's really nice. It's really nice.
It's great. It's great because what choice do we have? We can't meet face to face now, so we have to do it online. Online is not perfect, but it is what we have.
Yeah.
Rather than wish for what we can't have, it's best to be grateful for what we do have. Exactly. And so this is the online competition is now the only way to compete. Then, just make the best of it. Yeah. So I'm glad to hear that the reactions are so positive to what you've been doing, and also to give a tip of the cap to Mike and to yourself, to all these people that took this seriously, made these rules that are generally accepted. So that, you've done the best you can with the cards that were dealt to you. You played the hand as best you could.
Yeah, and one of the things that I do encourage everyone to read those rules, and because remember, those rules were back in June 2020. We said it from the beginning that this should be actually an evolving chapter. We didn't put any specific technical descriptions because we knew that the technical background is changing all the time. We didn't want to restrict the rules for certain technical settings that were true back in June 2020. We are in February 2021. A lot has changed and a lot of improvements, both for platform and for everything. So we didn't want to put in that technical restrictions, but at the same time, with every tournament, I learned something new. Every single tournament, there's new experience, there's new takeaway message that I put in my brain, and
you file it. Yeah,
I file it and I say, okay, I'll try to do better next time, or I try to be prepared for next time. So everyone should read the rules, and if they think they can make a good suggestion how to change and update those rules, please feel free to submit a motion, and then delegates will discuss it in August, and hopefully we can amend some of those rules to make it better. And I certainly know that a few of those are in preparation already. So just there's you can always help to make it better. Right.
Well, and it's also, one of the things that used to set me off working with organizations like this, which are basically volunteer based, where everyone has their opinion and thinks it should be followed. When you put in a lot of hard work, you feel ownership of it. And so you're kind of resistant to change. You're resistant to people to criticize your hard work. And you seem to be open to these suggestions. And like you say, you're learning as you go. And so there's nothing that can't be improved. So just be open to the changes, the suggestions, and discuss them. Like the delegates will discuss them and say, well, that's good for this, but it's not good for that. And come to a reasoned conclusion about what you should adopt as a change and what you shouldn't. And it seems like once we get past this pandemic, you'll have it down pat. And we can go back to over the board.
Will online chess cease to exist? Of course. No. Right. So I think it will be first couple of transitional half a year will be hybrid, right? And then even if we go back to over the board, we're still going to have online tournaments.
Absolutely.
It's actually convenient for some who are living in a remote area or spending a lot of time in traffic or lanes and everything. So I think it's a good alternate. So
Yeah, because you don't have the expense of the travel, the hotel expense to stay, and and then you're not eating properly or sleeping properly, and now you can play online and you can take care of yourself the way you need to take care of yourself.
exactly. As an
So,
organizer too,
yes,
junk foods I'm eating when I'm organizing a
I
tournament.
know.
Now I just go out and eat
Yeah.
healthy. My husband is cooking. So.
So, yeah, or something that you never would eat normally. You would eat when you're that tired and hungry. It's like
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah. No,
yes,
it sounds like you've done you've put your best foot forward, and you're open to suggestions to do better, and eventually it's going to be just a routine experience to log on and play in a chess tournament. But what about I talk about the elephant in the room. Well, my producer's telling me there's an elephant in the room. What about cheating, online cheating? What do you do about that? I mean, you can't.
that's the elephant in the room, and
Yeah,
every single tournament and every single organizer has to deal with that, unfortunately.
right.
So I always like to explain to people there are 3 stages: pre-tournament, during tournament, and post-tournament. And every single stage is very important. So if you want to go into discussing that, I'm very happy to do that. So
Oh, well, I just want to know that you're not only that you're aware of it, but what are the actions that you're taking? Like you took post tournament. I assume that's a review of the games.
yeah. So post tournament is hard work, but it's everything is done by that point in terms of players play the game. So you gather the games and you submit it for fair play review. There are certain levels of fair play review. Standard is platform review. Whatever platform you're running on, that platform has a kind of standard automatic process to screen games. If you
Right.
want bring a few games to their attention, they're gonna pay extra attention to that. Then the next level, or as a separate, not next level, but as a separate process, I personally always go to Ken Regan, Dr. Ken Regan, University of the Buffalo. I mean, Ken, thank you so much. Whatever you're doing is outstanding and amazing, and I have no idea where he finds the energy and the
I know.
stamina, but
And he's so fast at it too. It's amazing to me. It just blows my mind. Yeah.
fast and efficient, and I just rely on his data 100% and almost blindly because it's so good. Statistically, he has proven. He's employed by not employed. He's applied by FIDE, by USCF, by all over the world. So he's a worldwide expert.
Right.
He's been doing his research for almost 30-40 years.
Yes.
And he has a wealth of data. That means statistics, that means backing up patterns and logic. So we submit the tournament to Ken. We have to do a little bit of pre-work to make the file so that it's easy for him just to put it into the system. And he uploads the report file, and we click on it, and we see which player might be a suspicion of cheating. And there's a range where we as organizer think about the data, right? There's a range where it's super clean. There's a range where it's not sure. Let's look into it. There's a range where it's almost 100% cheating.
Yeah.
And then what do you do with that data? And that's
That was my next question. Right.
Yeah. And
I don't want to go. I don't want to make it about the cheating. I don't want to make the show about that. But you have things in place, and I have to tip my hat to Ken as well. What a wonderful service he's providing to all of us, all organizers everywhere. And so the idea is that you have a system in place and you apply it, and you apply it as objectively as humanly possible.
Yes.
And including the data, which is more or less objective. And so you then what if you've identified it and it was a tournament winner that has been cheating for the entire tournament? What do you do?
So
my curiosity.
I personally like to get a second and the third and the fourth opinion. So I have my beloved GMs across the country, all over the world, and I send them for a separate independent opinion. So when I actually flag someone, when we conclude this person is cheating, it's not only the platform, not only Ken, but
Right.
only GMs actually independently, separately confirm that, yes, there's no way that person played fairly and honestly on their own. Then we go and talk with the player. If it's a Scholastic player, we probably talk with the coach or
Or the
with
parents.
the
Yeah.
first.
Yeah.
We talk with the player first, and things like that. There's usually an admission, 99% of the time there's an admission, but we're not looking for admission. At that time, we made up our mind that we believe all these independent reviews. We're not looking for admission. We're just informing the players and the parents, this happened, take it, and then try to improve. And then what we as an organizer or the TDs have to do, that's regulated by US chess rules.
Oh, cool.
Have to take out the tournament player. Unfortunately, we are taking the player completely out, and the current rules direct us to adjust the opponent's score. We have to adjust the opponent's score by half point. So that means if a cheater won the game, the opponent will get a half point buy. If a cheater drew the game, then the opponent will get a full point buy. And so it's hurting the
Oh,
player.
interesting. Yeah.
It's hurting the stayer still because they are from the tiebreak score.
Sure.
But this is the standard process.
It's the best you can. You're doing the best you can.
And this is a rule that organizers have to apply across the country the same way. So whether you agree with this or not, that's personal opinion. And personally, I'm happy to say my personal opinion. It's not fair. It's not fair to take out a fair play violator from a tournament cross table, because it's not.
There was a famous example of this done when Lev Albert had a score in a tournament, and his name was erased, but you could rebuild his score by looking at his opponent's score. Yeah. So it became one of these laughing stock incidents in chess. But this was over the board competition where you tried to, for other reasons, just, make that person a non-person. So, but Lev Albert seemed to survive it. So I think going on to win multiple U.S. championships, I think anybody that runs into this kind of thing, they will survive it. Chess will survive, they will survive, but they will go on. And, as you point out, maybe there is a fairer system, but right now it's equally applied across the board. Yeah. And that's the best we can hope for now. And maybe the delegates will decide that there is a fairer way, there is a better way. And then you'll implement that system, and then it'll be applied across the board.
So if you don't agree with this rule, try to develop a better rule and suggest it and make it a motion. And I know a few other TDs across the country are working on that. So I'm very happy to hear that. I don't have to do the work. But yeah, and let's see if there's a fairer way. But there's always a way. And I think it's also important what we are trying to relay, especially for kids. I mean, kids, the physical development of the brain. I mean, they are still developing what's right, wrong, what's the consequence, to understand the consequence, right? And the parents have a huge role to play in this, to make them understand what are the consequences and to tell them what's right and wrong. So when we find a Scholastic player cheating, we would like to, or we try to use as an opportunity to learn and to grow and to change the path that you choose and correct it. And so a second chance is usually always given by the platforms usually too, and by the organizers that I know, and I certainly practice that what I'm preaching.
Yeah, so, play by the rules, kids. Play by the rules.
Yeah, and it's really good to see kids actually take that that
Yeah.
path. And
do you ever run into the parent who says, "My child would never cheat"?
yes, of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah.
Question
So
is if they realize at some point where there was a fair play violation or they don't. There are ways for the parents can investigate their own child. Tech-savvy parents are a little bit more advantage of that, and see what was going on the computer background and things like
do
that.
they have a way of protesting your decision?
So currently, there's the only way to protest any decision was if the organizer files an official complaint, ethics committee, and then the ethics committee does a full official review, and then obviously the player in question or the parents, if it's a scholastic player, have the right to appeal and say their version. I know platforms don't really do that.
Yeah, do that. Right.
But yeah, and we of course hear them out. I like discussing
Of course you
this
do.
with me,
Yeah.
but they also have to know that, especially if we go in the length of having so many independent reviews, you can't really argue with that, right? If
Right.
you have 3-4 of the US championship participants telling me the same thing,
Yeah.
then it's really hard.
It's just not James Eads' opinion. It's like you check with the yeah. So I think the thing I want to close on, because I'm getting my producer, my constant nag, is telling me that it's time to wrap up. But I could talk to you all day about this. But the thing I want to emphasize is that the organizers are doing such hard work. The people, the tournament directors, they're often you complain to them, the people that you complain to, and we often don't appreciate how much time, how often you go without your normal dinner time, your normal rest time, all the things that you do to put in your energies and time into making a place that people can play chess.
Yeah, when your fit count shows you 1,000 steps at the 9 p.m., that's not great. That's not good. So, yeah, and that's
So
on the world.
my tip of the hat to all the organizers, all the tournament directors, all the people that are making it a place to play chess, which is what the E Foundation is all about. Just allow people to get together to play chess, and you're an essential part of it. You and people like you. So I just want to say that while I take you backstage to wrap up the show. Thank you so much for being a guest. You were wonderful.
Thank you so much. And I would like to encourage everyone, give it a try, give online chess a try, give online rating a try. It's different, but it's a unique way to measure online chess during the pandemic, and just be open to it and try it out. So.
Yeah, that's great. So Judith, I want to talk to you after the show if you want to stick around, but I'll take you backstage now, and I will just say goodbye to Judith if I can. And my producer's just not up to snuff. Okay, there she goes. Phew. All right. So I want to talk to you a little bit. I'm going to change my background. So I want to talk to you about the walls that we build between us. And if you're one of those that build the walls, shame on you. The E Foundation is wanting to tear down the walls between us and form communities. So what we just talked about is how we're doing it online now. But even if you can't get online, you can build a community wherever you are. Whatever country you're in, whatever language you speak, you can build a community. The E Foundation is dedicated to helping you. And if you're just sitting on the sidelines and don't care, you're just another brick in the wall. So tear down the walls between us. Play chess. Get together with your community wherever you can. It can be an online community. It can be playing anyone, anywhere in the world at any time. This is wonderful. This is a great advance for chess, and the E Foundation wants to be a part of it and do as much as we can. If you have the resources and someone else doesn't, share. That's the message of the E Foundation. So don't be a brick in the wall. Don't build walls. Tear them down. And I want to remind you, scrolling across the bottom of the screen, the Fort Bragg Dollar Store, you can buy quality products at inexpensive prices. And this is a part of the business community that is supporting chess. Use the discount code CHESS, and then you will find what you're looking for, because this has been the Chess Files. The answers are out there.